All right, folks, don't touch that dial. You're about to meet a rock star agent who, after 20 years working in the retail industry, has joined the Cliff Freeman Group and is tracking to do $12 million his first year. That's right, Steve Andognini coming up next on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. Woo, man, I'm telling you, I was coming out of the chute so fast, and this jacket, is this something or what?
Wow.
We are breaking the blue streak just for fun, and I messed up, Steve, your name. It's Andognini. Sorry, I threw an extra R in there just for Italian ancestors, shall we say. They used to put an R in Andognini.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
You got it right. Yeah, sure.
Never happened before, right?
Yeah.
All right, yes. And I am amazed because this young man joined the Cliff Freeman Group fairly recently, and he has already just blazed a trail. He's only had his license since September.
Yeah, September last year.
Last year, right, Steve? And,
Correct.
And man, you told us a little while ago that you didn't have any formal training in real estate other than you bought and sold some houses maybe in your past, but
Yeah,
it
personal transactions, and then what I learned at the real estate school.
in real estate, which they don't teach you anything about how to make money, right? That's just how to stay out of jail.
Correct.
Right? How to write a contract and that sort of thing. And you have absolutely just, I mean, man, when your engines got lit, you just crushed it. And we're going to go a little deeper into your story here in a minute, but C3, what do you think, man? Is this, you were the first person on the team to talk to Steve. Did you know that there was that hidden talent in there?
I think it was just the tonality on the phone when we first chatted, where I could tell he was, going to be a great fit for us, and it's turned out to be true. He's just a great guy overall, and we got to talking about stuff outside of real estate first, and kind of dove into real estate after that. But super excited to have Steve here. And especially a part of the Cliff Freeman Group. He's going to be a great asset, for the years to come.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I know that because you love like going to Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop and outdoor stuff
camping,
and that kind of thing. And that was, that was Steve's background, really. Steve, let's share with the audience, if you don't mind,
Sure.
a little bit of your history here, and why don't you start and maybe work backwards a little bit. Let's do that this time.
I could start at the beginning. I guess at the very beginning of my career, I got started in retail while I was going to college at Arizona State University. I was trying to get a chemistry degree for what I don't know. I just knew that would lead to a Bachelor of Science, and I'd figure out what I wanted to do in life later on. But I was doing the college thing. I wanted to get a job indoors because I'd had jobs outside before, cleaning pools and stuff. So I applied at some retail stores. Home Depot was one of them. They were the first one to call me back, and they did offer me a job, but it was outside in the parking lot. And so I was like, oh, just my luck, but I took it. And I worked really hard. I had a really good work ethic, but so they moved me in very quickly. And I started selling appliances. I became a department supervisor. And then I guess at one point, a store manager took me under his wing and really opened my eyes to show me how good of a career you could have in retail. I had no clue the potential of that career path, and then realized, like, you know what, I like retail. I see that I can do well at this, and so I kind of went full blast into retail. And just a couple years later, I was a store manager with Home Depot. I was with them for about 8 years. But I guess if I back up before that, I was an avid fisherman and hunting outdoorsman. It was kind of like my family's lifestyle revolved around the outdoors. So when the opportunity came up to work at Cabela's, that was a dream job where I could do retail and have the outdoor lifestyle. So I went to Cabela's as a senior hardlines merchandising manager. They promoted me to a store manager of a store right here in Allen, Texas. Eventually, they moved me over to the Fort Worth store, which was one of the higher volume stores. And then eventually, I was running both stores. I had a very good retail career. It was very fun. But it was, time to make a change. And I always dreamed about doing real estate, had the opportunity to make a change and had the financial ability to not have income for a few months while I got started. Had a broker that I knew inspired me to take the leap of faith and join her. And I never looked back. And just a side note, since then, she's joined EXP, and it's cool to have her on board as well.
Well, they say that smart money follows smart money, right? I mean, that's kind of the way it works. So, you made a great decision, and didn't take her long once she understood the model and the opportunity to follow suit. Now, brains run in your family too, don't they, Steve?
I don't know about it. Well, my dad was a really smart man. He was a nuclear engineer. He went to MIT. He had a master's in nuclear science. He was just a really smart guy. If you met him, you wouldn't tell, but he was a legit nuclear engineer. He was in charge, when I was in high school, he was in charge of all the nuclear power plants in Ontario, Canada. He also had, before that, he was in California, where I was born, in Arizona, the nuclear power plant there. But super, super smart guy.
Right. Now, let's talk a little bit about sort of how you went from chemistry to retail to real estate, because somewhere along the way, you had to develop some really good sales skills. I mean, I'm looking at your numbers since you got your license, and I mean, you're just crushing it. Tell us a little bit about what you learned along that path that you were on that contributed to your ability to win at real estate like you do.
Yeah. I guess it starts with two things. So real estate was always kind of the dream job that I was always too afraid to do. Because when I was young and looking to start a family, I needed the steady paycheck that was guaranteed, the benefits. So real estate was always in the back of my mind. I did do some real estate courses early on, but just wouldn't take the risk. And I think the sales piece of it, that's all retail. Like, I was an appliance sales guy at Home Depot for a little bit, and I was the number one appliance sales guy, and I sold the, we call it back then the specialty departments, which was the higher end part of Home Depot and retail, where I was just a great salesperson. I think it was just because I listened to people. That's was my best skill. I would figure out what their needs were, and then I would recommend products that matched their needs rather than just sell them something that I needed to sell or wanted to sell them. I would just spend a lot of time with them. I'd be honest with people either way. They appreciated my honesty. Sometimes that mean I didn't make a sale, but it was funny how sometimes those people would come back. And it's kind of the same way with real estate, as I really don't try to sell people houses when I'm showing them. I show them the house. I tell them just the facts, the features, and if they ask me my opinion, I share it with them. But at the end of the day, I'm really serving people rather than me trying to, serve my commission and make a sale. So my number one motivation is to serve people. And that really kind of gets ingrained to you in retail, especially as a leader. You've got to serve the team that you're leading. You've got to serve your customers. So it all comes down to service, and it's about people. And it really ties in from good retail people who have great service are going to probably do pretty good in real estate.
Steve, it's interesting you mentioned that, number one in sales and appliances. I mean, is there anything different about selling a $2,500 washer dryer combo than there is selling a $2.5 million house?
It's oddly, it's a wild comparison, but it's really similar. And I would tell you, one, you've got to know your product. So you need to know about houses. You need to know what makes a $2.5 million house a $2.5 million house, and how it compares to the other one down the road that maybe we haven't looked at. So you got to know your market. I mean, I was kind of a nerd in the appliance aisle. I went and read every brochure. I knew about every feature and benefit of every one, and the warranties, where they were made. And so when I talked to customers and learned their needs, I could match them to the right appliance for them at the right price. Sometimes it wasn't even about the price, just get them the right product. And it's really the same with houses. And sometimes, what I find a lot of times, when the first time I go look at a house with a buyer, you fast forward a month and they're buying something completely different because they didn't even know what they needed. They didn't even know what they wanted because they just don't know what's on the market. They don't know the differences out there.
Yeah.
So it's a lot like selling appliances. Just because customers would come in, they say, I need a washer or a dryer, whatever it was, refrigerator. And then they don't know about all the different options available and what they truly need in their home. So it's the same thing for a house.
Yeah, they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
I mean, that's, the crazy thing. They see all these houses on the websites and everything, portals, and they pick a house first with complete disregard to where it is, and then they go look at it and they see the trailer park next door. And not that trailer parks are bad, but you don't want to buy $1.5 million house if it's not in a consistent neighborhood, right? I mean,
Right.
it's
For resale
good.
value.
Yeah, resale value. Well, so tell us a little bit about, September 20, it's not even been a year since you got your real estate license. There are people watching today that are seeing all the chaos in the market, but some of them, like you, are just determined to get into real estate because they feel like that's their calling.
Mm-hmm.
What did you, when you finished, and first of all, you probably aced everything, I would assume, when you went through real estate school,
Got
right?
lucky.
Got lucky. Well, you were probably committed, number one.
I studied hard.
Studied hard, okay. And when it came time for you to choose what to do, who to go with afterwards, you came out of big box retail, yet you chose a really small broker. In fact, you were the only
I was the only agent, yeah.
right, with the broker. What was that whole process about? How did you go and make that decision? What do these agents need to be thinking about?
Well, my broker gave me some good advice, and she told me to start first with my personal sphere of influence, and literally wrote down everybody I knew. I made a spreadsheet and came up with a game plan that she shared with me where I was going to contact everybody on that list kind of over and over and over again, and according to the schedule. And that was the first thing I did on day one, was just let everybody know that I was in real estate now. And that turned out being a big deal because I have had a couple transactions that came from that sphere of influence, and me staying in contact with them was a big deal. Other than that, I was so hungry to generate business, and I knew that my personal sphere of influence, there's only so many people that are going to buy a house, that I quickly learned that if I wanted to get busy, I needed to start selling some houses to strangers. And so I experimented with a lot of marketing. I did Facebook paid ads. I did Facebook Marketplace, which is free. I paid for some Zillow leads. I tried a lot of stuff, and things started trickling in and building. And I figured out, once I figured out what worked, I reinvested in it. So if I closed a deal from a Facebook ad, I would reinvest into the Facebook ad or Zillow, whatever it was, and just if I found something that worked, I made it work even better for me. And it's really kind of snowballed to the point where I'm busy enough now where I just kind of pray for a day off where I can not be working on real estate. But it's a blessing to be that busy, and it was purely really it was me doing all that marketing on my own. So to be with the Cliff Freeman Group now and have this whole additional level of support that I didn't know existed is a blessing, and I'm really excited. I think I can dramatically expand my business in the next 12 months and do a lot better than I did this year.
Well, that's interesting you brought that up, because your broker Edie is wonderful, and when I was an independent broker, I realized, it didn't take me long to figure out that I was just limited in terms of the resources that I could bring to the table, such as some of the marketing that we have now with the team, and some of the other software and things that we do. What in particular, since you've joined us, you mentioned marketing. How has that impacted your ability to, say, go take a listing?
Well, I have legitimately scored one huge listing just from knowledge that I got off of a Friday meeting. We were talking about the flexible commission program. And I had met with a client, multi-million-dollar listing, gone out there and done my presentation, and I thought I was pretty close to getting it, but I never heard back. And I took that flexible commission program and got the listing. And then with some other, I've got some future listings coming up, and I took our proprietary luxury marketing that we have available, and that's an absolute game changer. I can legitimately go to a potential client with a listing and offer them a marketing package that I don't think anyone else can even touch, or they'll just be amazed. Literally, putting it in 50 plus countries around the world, and all over Facebook, the American publications it gets in. I mean, I can offer great service, but when I show them a package, like here's what the marketing is going to look like, and I could show them on a screen how I will spare no expense and market their house all over the world, it's a game changer to gain business.
I think, do we have maybe we have something that Travis, can you pull up that? We might have is that Steve? Is that what you're talking about there?
Yeah, so this is currently an active listing that I have. And I told my clients I would give them the best marketing that they can purchase, and it's all at my expense. I'm doing all of this for them. It's the service that I offer, but they get to see that their listing is in 81 portals, 54 countries, to 92.9 million buyers, and that all looks good. But the reality is, we've had it on the market one day. We've already got a fantastic offer, and they just couldn't be happier. So, and I love just really. When I make the day for the clients and kind of exceed their expectations.
Sure.
It's a great feeling.
Not too many realtors are going to go with those arrows in their quiver, those tools to talk to a seller about. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're talking advertising in the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, the Robb Report. There's just a number of top publications. That's just here locally in the U.S. And then I think you mentioned earlier you're in China, India, and I mean just literally all over the world. So
yeah, it's pretty cool, and it was very easy for me to do all of it. So
very easy for you to do.
Yeah, that's why I love. That's one of the best things about I guess being with EXP. This is a resource I didn't have before, and it's going to help me gain more listings, and it'll help me with listings that I have to promote them. So
right. What else has helped you since you've joined us? You mentioned some strategies with the flexible commission program, marketing. Is there anything else that's top of mind here that you feel like is going to help propel you to new levels?
Well, I can't say enough, and this is really a surprise for me because when I heard there was a Friday meeting and Cliff told me about it, he said, "Hey, come to these Friday." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I don't like meetings. I hated them in retail and conference calls." But I went to basically all of them. I think I missed one, and every time I get on that meeting, I learn something or I'm motivated to do something I wasn't doing before, which is gold. And I think different than my last brokerage, it was just Edie and I. And so there was two people that had ideas and we would bounce out. But now with EXP, there's a lot of people and you bring guests on to these calls, you bring companies into the calls, there's a lot of good information that you can take and do something with that I thrive off of it. I absolutely love it. Maybe there's some things I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm absolutely taking away from those calls and putting into place, and it works. Right.
By the way, just a selfless plug here, right? This Saturday.
Yeah, if you're not doing anything.
July 30th, I would normally be having a meeting with Dr. Pillow and Mr. Sheet at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning. However, but we're doing a live listing training at the Fuse in Prosper.
Yeah.
And it's open to everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, for free. We do ask that you sign up on Eventbrite because I think we're going to probably have too many people want to come.
Yeah, we'll drop the link in the comments.
But we'll put the link in the comments. And if you're an agent, it doesn't matter what brokerage you're with. We don't care. We love everybody. Come and see just exactly a little bit about what Steve's talking about. And you will walk out with your own listing presentation ready to go, ready for you to walk out of the door at 5 o'clock when we're done and go list a house. If you don't have a listing presentation, have you been working with buyers? There's been a change in the market, right?
Things are shifting.
We talk about the change in the market, and folks, let me tell you what, there is a huge change, and it's going to be more important to learn how to become a listing agent. You have to list to last, as Mike Ferry says, and he's right, 100%. It's been a crazy buyer's market. Since you've been in, Steve, you've never experienced a shift in the market.
No.
But it sounds like, you've got this listing. How many listings have you had so far in your career?
4 that have closed, and I've got, I guess, the 2 pending. I've got a third one coming. So, 4 that I've listed and closed so far. Now, by the way,
the one that you're listing that's coming up that's no crack house. I mean, that's
it's a big one.
Yeah,
It's a $2 million listing.
Yeah, and it's 30 acres. And
30 acres,
6,000.
about 6,500 square foot house, and
Right.
all kinds of, I guess, additional agricultural amenities on the property, which is, I'm really familiar with those type of properties. I love them. But yes, I did score a big one.
Yeah, and you just mentioned you're familiar with those properties. Talk a little bit about sort of your niche here, because you and your daughter and your fiance, you guys are actually, you started a business not too long ago.
Well, my fiance, she's had a business for several years. I think there's 20 years that she's actually been in the equestrian business.
Okay.
But she currently runs it on our property that we live on now, on 20 acres in Ponder, with horse boarding business and training. It's English riding, dressage, and she's got quite the horse business. I'm really proud of her. She's doing really well out there.
Dressage.
Yeah, dressage. That's the best way to describe it. Have you seen that?
It's
the
like,
horses, they dance.
Dancing,
Yes,
basically.
yeah. It reminds me of what are those water things they do, and
Yeah.
synchronized dancing or swimming or whatever.
That's
it is.
what she does, and
Yeah.
she's really good at that.
Yeah,
so.
those horses, they're Belgian. What are the
Belgian Malinois?
no, that's a dog. They look like horses. What are the, not Clydesdales, but there's an Arabian, what's the horse that they use for dressage? Do you recall off the top of your
I
head?
know my fiance uses Dutch harness horses.
Dutch harness? Because
Yeah.
when I was in South Africa, they had a big community of people that did dressage.
Yeah, I know they use several different breeds.
Yes,
But her
yeah.
Dutch harness horses, just the way they move and pick up their feet, it's
These
incredible.
are big horses.
Yes.
These are not like thoroughbreds
Ponies.
or
No,
quarter horses.
she has one horse named Lincoln, and he puts his head up as like a giraffe. They're big. They're tall horses.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's amazing.
So that they could fit someone like me on them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Would hate to hurt a horse.
You wouldn't hurt the horse.
Yeah.
The horses, they can be a little bit high strung with those dressage horses.
I don't
but
think you got to worry
you
about
wouldn't.
that.
Yeah, you wouldn't worry about the horse.
And you have a daughter who's really into riding. Tell us
Yeah,
about
my
her.
daughter she likes Western riding. So she likes, I think she's doing barrels right now. She's thinking about doing rodeo and roping. She does the Western stuff. She's a beautiful rider. She can ride English too, but she's rode horses for years. And so she gets to live a life surrounded by horses kind of no matter where she is. And she absolutely loves it.
Yeah, that's
My
awesome.
son's this little soccer star, so he loves soccer. He doesn't want to ride horses, and but they're there.
You got him into fishing yet?
Yes, which is funny. The kids like catching, so if we're not catching, they get bored pretty quick. But
Got it. So they got to stay entertained.
I have to find ways to keep them constantly reeling in a fish, which sometimes I can do, but if I can't, they let me hear it.
Well, you must be quite the angler.
I was actually a pretty good fisherman. At one point, like before all the retail stuff started and everything, and when I was young in high school, I did very well fishing tournaments in Canada. Like I was winning tournaments, winning some big tournaments. I did really well. I was a fishing guide. I moved back to Arizona, kept the fishing guide business up, and that's really what I wanted to do. But then kind of reality sets in. You're like, I can't fish my whole life and be just like a life on the road. And I wanted to have a family, and that dream kind of fizzled out. And fishing became work, which really changed your love for fishing when it becomes your profession.
100%.
So that's all kind of led up to the change when I started looking into real estate, got into retail.
Well, you mentioned that, and you're only in your young beginning first year. As we would say, you're a baby in the business. But you also said that you've really exceeded your own expectations about how well you would do when you got into real estate. How have your plans, and what are your plans, Steve, for the next, say, 3 years, now that you're starting to realize what you're capable of doing?
Well, I guess the biggest way that the plans have changed is that I see more potential to just grow my volume, but I've also learned ways and it's stuff I've learned while being at EXP of how I can actually get help with my business, transaction coordinators, virtual assistants. I think that's going to be a game changer. Just my general approach to how I'm going to go after new business is going to change, and I think I'm going to get better at it. And then I'll also the agent attraction thing. I think I want to work with a team and bring people to this business, bring them to EXP to show what it has to offer, because I really think it's a great place to be, and that excites me. I guess that's the one thing I miss about retail was that you had people that you took care of, people that you developed, people that you just watch them get promoted and grow those bright careers. That's probably the one thing I miss in retail, and I want to be able to do that at EXP. And so I have an opportunity to do that now, and that's probably what I'm the most excited about.
That's really exciting for us as well, because that's what, there's a lot of agents who come over here just because it's a better place to sell real estate. And the whole thing of rev share and stock ownership and stuff to them is not really of primary importance. But it seems like once they get over here and they've been here for a while and they get their real estate business built up where I want it, they're kind of looking for that next challenge and that next opportunity. And they have that sort of heart of service and a heart for education and helping people like you're talking about. And that's when, you don't have to move out to move up. You just start to change your focus a little bit and work on growing a team, for example, or some people have just left production and go straight into
Agent
attraction, right?
Yeah.
So it's that's the great thing about where you are is it's basically a platform built by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, it really is. Tell us a little bit about Edie. I know you're real excited for her, and she was your first broker, and I remember you were talking at lunch. What was that conversation like with her when you mentioned to her that you were going to be leaving her?
Yeah, no, I was really nervous about telling her, and because I was so grateful to Edie, because she really was the nudge I needed to get started. Because I had a lot of options that I could have gone and done, and now Edie gave me just completely convinced. Just do it is basically what she told me. Do real estate, you're going to be fine. You're going to be great at it. And she believed in me and took me on as her only agent because she didn't want to have other agents at that time. But she believed in me. And so I was really, I guess it was difficult for me to call her and say, hey, I've got this great opportunity with the Cliff Freeman Group. And it was funny when I talked to her about it, she's like, wait a minute, I want to do that. And so she it kind of knocked her socks off. I mean, she'd been in the business for 40 years and she'd heard about EXP. But when I told her, here's what they have to offer and all the resources they have, she said, sign me up. And so that's what we've recently done. She's with EXP now, and she is she's absolutely motivated, on fire. She signed up for the cruise. She's ready to go to every boot camp that she can, and she has me really excited now. So we kind of feed off each other in that way. I motivated her by doing so well that she wants to light the fire under her real estate career again. And I'm watching her do it, and I'm like, well, sign me up too, because she's going to be doing some things with her marketing that I'm totally going to be like, yeah, I'm in on that. I want to copy that. So yeah, she's very inspiring, but I'm glad that she's with EXP now. And
oh, that's wonderful. And you mentioned the cruise, and I guess another selfless plug here, but
well, that's a little before. We might want to talk about the August event first.
Oh, well, of course, we got Bill.
That's huge.
With Tony Robbins. That's at the Gaylord coming up after we get back from our little trip to Budapest and Munich.
Yeah.
But you guys probably have heard about the Build conference. This is the second year for it, right? But I mean, it is. We take over the whole Gaylord, and it's special. It's an amazing event. It's open to everybody. But if you've never seen Tony Robbins, this will be a great opportunity for you to do so. If you have a friend who's with EXP here, or if you'd like to reach out to us, we'll see what we can do. It's sold out, but we always have a few extra tickets in our back pocket for close friends. So if you'd like to know more about that, then reach out to us. And now we can talk about the cruise, which
we're super excited.
I've always wanted to have Christmas on the beach. Okay, honestly.
Yeah.
So by golly, the Texas Association of Realtors scheduled their international cruise for December 11th through the 18th. And those good friends of mine have agreed to let us take our group and share some of the training conference facilities. And we're taking our own Gary De Rodriguez, who's our coach, good friend, and expert mentor. And Gary is going to actually do a certification for those of us on the cruise for NLP self-leadership. And it's an international certification. And Gary is somebody who, I'm telling you, I don't even know how to describe him, but for those of you who know him, you know the impact that he's had on your lives. And obviously he's been my personal coach and mentor for probably 10 years, I guess now. It's going along 10. And we're just grateful that he's agreed again. We did a cruise back in January on presentation skills, and it was
phenomenal.
It was incredible. And this one has even got more punch to it with the certification for NLP.
Ooh.
So, yeah, if you want some more info on that, we're about to fill that one up. There's only 26 spots on that cruise. So
once it's full, it's full.
When it's full, it's full. We can't open up anymore. We just can't do it with more people. But it's going to be a very special time, and we'd love to have you if you're interested in self-leadership. And that's really, if you look at the wealth pyramid, that's where it all happens. At the top there is leadership, and that's where you create wealth for your family and for your legacy. Speaking of legacies, Steve, how do you want to be remembered for your time here on this world?
That is a deep question. That's a very interesting
I
question.
saved it for almost last, so I give you a little chance to think about it.
No, I think I guess the way I want to remember it is that I was a loving, caring person that served everyone I kind of came in contact well and treated people well. I think that's what's most important to me. And I would tell you that was a challenge in retail because you're trying to serve two people. You've got the corporation you need to serve, and then you've got the people that you're leading that you need to serve. And sometimes there's some conflicts there. Really happy to be in business now, or if I just serve my clients and just, there's a lot less conflict with that. And I really feel like I can be myself in this business more than I can in retail. And that's what I want people to remember is that I was someone that and every chance I got treated people well, served them, and did my best, and had a lot of fun along the way, and that's really it.
That's awesome. C3, you been saved anything for Steve?
Steve. Wow. No, I'm kind of drawing a blank. I'm just taken away by his story. This is like the first time I really get to sit down,
sure,
and hear it and hear it from him, and it's just been great. It's been wonderful to hear all of the things we're talking about. It's inspiring.
Yeah. No, it is for sure. I've got to wonder. So, how old's your daughter now?
14.
14. Do you ever do like the take your daughter to work thing and let her?
Actually I did. I took her to, it was in my personal sphere, but it was for a listing. And she went there, and they love my daughter so much. I think that she saved the day.
For you?
No, they were they were more impressed with her than they were with me. So, and it's funny. They've been to some showings with me and stuff where I told people, hey, my kids are with me. If you want to go see this house, they're here with me now.
Yes.
They're like, I'll bring the kids, and the kids actually think my job is pretty cool. Like, what this is what you do? Go look at houses and people buy them. This is your job. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? And so I'm already having the conversations with my kids, like, kids, whatever you want to do in life, if you want to have the highest level of success possible, you got to do something that's on your own. I said, I know there's employers out there and you can get some great careers, but if you want to really do something where it has unlimited potential, you got to find something to do on your own. I said, I'm going to do real estate, and I can do that to an infinite amount. It's really up to me. And I said that just think about that. So I've already got my daughter is looking at affiliate marketing, and I got to get her a laptop, and I'm just telling my kids, try stuff and fail and just be entrepreneurial and try to make something on your own. That'll be the best advice I could give you as a dad. So
yeah, I mean, it's funny because that's how both of my kids are in the business, and it used to be when I was growing up is go to college, go get a job, work there 35, 40 years, and retire, and that's it, right? And now it's like, we have so many more options, and I don't know that college is really the answer for a lot of people these days. You decided chemistry was not your thing, and
no,
and it's just a different world. So it's exciting to see these young people. We see so many young people coming, wanting to join the team and stuff now. It's really it's really a beautiful thing to see, because I know it's going to create a lot more opportunities for family businesses to operate within this umbrella that we have. So it's really exciting. Well, I think we must be close to the top of the hour.
About 5 minutes left.
About 5 minutes?
You can believe it.
Yeah? Okay. Well, I thought we were closer to the end.
I think
here.
we are close.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, pretty much so. Now you're coming on the cruise with Edie, is that
I'm
right?
I'm
He's working
really
on
close
it.
to booking that. If I can get my mom to come out here and just get the kids at the end of the winter break,
Okay.
Mom, if you're watching this,
Yeah.
it's December.
What's the chance of you bringing the kids? It's a family cruise.
Well, that's the problem. They're in school at the start of the cruise. They're out at the end of the cruise.
good. Just take them out.
They would just skip school.
Yeah, that's what.
I mean, I don't mind.
Robert. No, I shouldn't say his
Yeah,
name.
No, my kids
Yeah.
are such great. Like they do not miss a day of school.
Oh,
they
is
are
that right?
they are
Okay.
amazing students. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it takes like the end of the world for one of them to miss a day.
Yeah. No, we wouldn't encourage you to be.
No, if I'm
Sure.
really close to getting it booked. It's
Yeah.
just tying up some. I guess just convincing my mom to come grab the kids for a couple days. It's only 2 days that I got to get covered. So
Yeah.
Right on.
it's
right on.
really close.
Yeah.
But I want to go on it for sure. My fiance wants to go on it really bad, so I've got pressure from everywhere to get on this
good.
cruise. Yeah,
That's
she,
good. That's a good
Yeah.
thing.
yeah, she wants to go to Mexico. So
Oh, well, we'd love to meet her.
oh, she'd have a ball. She's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Steve, is there anything that we should have asked you that we didn't today?
No, I guess the only thing I'll share is that I know it's kind of an anomaly that I've done so well in my first year, and that really comes from thinking that I wasn't going to do so well, and it's kind of you wake up every day thinking about what you can do better, and really even now I look back on so many things that I could do better or should have done better, or some days I should have just worked harder and I didn't.
Yeah.
Could have done more prospecting. So I feel blessed to do as well as I have done, but it's more and more I realize that I could be doing so much better, could have done better, and I just feel lucky to be in the situation that I'm in where I did make it work, as being as green as I am, not even knowing what I didn't know, but finding out now. It's an interesting position to be in. I feel a little bit lucky how I got my start in such a tough market, and it was hard to get offers accepted. But I really think if you just take care of the people you're working with, things are going to work out.
Well, I got news for you. There is no glass ceiling here, and the opportunities in this business are endless.
I love that.
So I can't wait to see where you go with it. And we're just super stoked and super excited to partner with you and Edie and your business. And I know you guys are going to make some real differences in people's lives. And that's why we're here. I mean, that's, we built the company for that reason. We just happen to sell real estate. We're in the business of serving and helping people and making dreams come true. And we do it via the real estate business. So, Steve, thank you again for being here, man. So excited, C3.
Yeah.
You found a good one here, my friend.
Yeah, a blind squirrel will find a nut.
Well, I don't know.
Every once in a while, I'm kidding.
Sure. Yeah.
No, it was great timing. I think it was right, and just super thankful that he was open-minded and receptive to what I had to tell you. And it just all worked out.
Okay, I have to bring this up to you. I know we're out of time, but you said open-minded. Steve, how important is it for these people in the audience to be open-minded about where they're going to go, what they're going to do, and how far they can go?
I think it's hugely important to be open-minded, especially in this business. That just a short period of time that I've been in, it's always changing, and there's so many opportunities that if you are narrow-minded, you might end up on a path that doesn't work. And so I think that was an advantage for me. I feel like I literally tried everything and found some things that worked. And if they stop working, guess what? I'm going to change. So I'm very open-minded. I'm willing to listen to anything that I can get to help myself. I want to give it a shot. I'm not set in my ways. I'm very open to feedback and knowledge, and just any little nuggets I can take. I suck it right up. That's why when coming to EXP, it's like it comes in a fire hose. Like it's. I was having to hunt for it before, and now it's much easier to find, and it's very appreciated. I feel very blessed that you all called me, because that was a big deal.
Well, that's a mutual blessing, I got to tell you. And you've heard it right here from the man, 0 to 12 million in 12 months. The man himself, Steve Andognini.
You got it.
The one. And by the way, folks, we're going to be taking a little sabbatical for the next couple of weeks. Going to be out of the country.
Where are you headed?
Recharging some batteries. I think we're going to Budapest.
Are you going on a river cruise?
Going on a river cruise down the
Wow.
Danube with Jimmy Buffett and the band. Yes,
In the band?
we sure are. But we won't see you next week, but we'll be back in probably 2 or 3 weeks. Keep your eyes open. We love you guys. Thank you for being here. If it wasn't for you all, it certainly wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here with this show. So
Amen.
stay
Yeah.
tuned. We'll see you next time right here on Cliff's Notes.
All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it!